What's up, squad? From Reach Suite, I'm Colin Smith, and welcome to Cold Ones. It's the podcast with chilly questions and even colder ice cream. And today, we're joined by my dear friend Alex Shyshko. Fun name, by the way. You know him as the CRO at Outbound Funnel and Houston, Texas, newest resident. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Hey, thanks for having me, Colin.
Good to see you, man. So let me ask a question. What is this top left? Is that a helmet of sorts? Or
Yeah,
your
it is.
top left?
Yeah,
What helmet?
AVG motorcycle helmet.
Very cool. You
Yeah,
ride?
I did. I rode for over a decade. And then ever since I moved, I never bought a bike, so sold my stuff. And that helmet is actually really cool. I only wore it like 5 times until I had to move and sell. And anyways, now it's just
I
collecting
like it,
dust.
man. It's a trophy. An
It
homage,
really is. It
an
really
homage
is.
to younger years. Pre kids, pre-care.
Well, actually, I have no idea how I got away with it, but I was riding my motorcycle through both of my kids. So I have
Yeah.
a 5 and 11-year-old, and I think we talked about it before it, right? I moved to Texas,
Yeah.
and but before that, I spent 25 years in Bay Area, and California is a unique state for that specific opportunity that you can actually split lanes and ride motorcycles very freely. And it's out there to say a little bit safer because people understand it, like the
Yeah.
dynamics, more
Yeah.
or less. And yeah, and so I rode it for quite some time, and then the motorcycle was not just a fun aspect for the weekend.
Yeah.
Um, there were times when I used to live in the middle of Peninsula, and I took 40-minute ride between the cars, and that was the way to get to work. That was
Wow. Into the Bay, into San Francisco.
that's right. Yeah,
Holy
down 101,
smokes.
down Silicon Valley, and unless you want to stay in the traffic for like 2 hours,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, that
I
was
couldn't imagine taking on those hills. I used to live in Nob Hill, right by Grace Cathedral.
yes.
And there's some pretty gnarly hills in that jurisdiction. And going up or down one of them in a motorcycle seems insane.
Fun fact: there is no reverse on the motorcycle. You can only go forward. If you want to go back, you have to use your feet
Yeah.
or gravity, and you learn
Yeah.
that pretty quick.
Dude, I don't know. I'm getting a little freaked out just talking about it, man. I'm just picturing this one right on Pine and Jones, just like looking up, taking a motorcycle down that I think is giving me the heebie-jeebies. So good for you.
Yeah,
Good
it's
for you.
just like in life, it's all about a throttle control.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. I
you
like
gotta
that.
know when to open up. You gotta know when to close it down, and sometimes you
Situational
get it right,
awareness,
sometimes you
right?
don't. Yeah, it truly
Situational
is.
awareness. Well, it's
Yeah,
good to see you, man. As always, thank you for joining Cold Ones. We're pumped to have you, and we're excited to have some ice cream. I brought mine.
yeah.
You
No,
bring,
I loved. By the way, at 8:45 p.m. last night, this thing showed up in my doors.
yeah, you know it, man. We don't slack, okay?
No, no,
We
that did not mess around.
we do not slack. We've got a DoorDash, Instacart, every cart, all cart order profile from here to Timbuktu. We strategically select Alex the ice cream for you. Now, the only challenge with our operations is apparently sometimes Instacart people don't get the order right and they sometimes miss things. That's okay. But the first ice cream that did not get delivered, but it's okay, is the firecracker popsicle. And it's just because it's July 4th time, man. And we're just proud to be Americans. We're hanging out summertime. I'm stoked. We were at the beach last week. And so I thought a firecracker popsicle, man, what's better than that? And then we'll get to the second ice
Yeah.
cream in the second portion. But the way we do it, cold ones, as you know, we have two separate sections. Section one is personal. Who is Alex? What's the man behind the LinkedIn? What's the man behind the beautiful hair gel?
Oh,
Who is Alex? And then the second section is is the revenue wisdom, which is where we jump into the real stuff, the people that really want to know and get your perspective on and why folks really show up for cold ones to get educated. So if you're ready, we're gonna jump into the first personal section.
I still need to get over the hair gel, but I'm ready.
Hey man, I got the cheddar myself. I don't put much gel in it. My dad's a big gel guy, but
It's still like,
I
but yeah,
yeah.
I grew it out. But
You look
no,
fresh, man. You look
yeah,
fresh.
I love it. Let's roll.
All right, first one. What's something few people know about Alex that you want them to know?
But yeah, I think something that's interesting if you look at my career, I've been in sales and partnerships for a lot of it. Even actually, fun fact, even before getting to SaaS sales partnerships, I used to sell women's shoes. That's how I got myself through college and to get my bachelor's degree. I guess that's a fun fact on its own, but I
Uh-huh.
actually am a marketer at heart, so what people did not know is that I graduated with a marketing degree, wanted to be a marketer, but I didn't get, I sold to a lot of marketers. I worked with a lot of them. But ironically, I've never pursued the degree that I meant to do.
Well, I mean, you got pretty darn close. You got pretty darn close. That's
Really good
fun,
answer.
man.
Yeah.
My my minor was marketing. Few people know this about me.
Hmm.
I was pre-med in college. Yeah, I was pre-med in college. I wanted to be a chiropractor, and then I ended up landing in medical device sales instead. Didn't want to go to school. But my minor was marketing. Um, all right. Number two, a common misconception about you.
A lot of times I get folks to come to me for certain sales or partnership expertise. And I believe that I have became very dangerous enough to know a lot, but I'm actually an expert generalist. I believe that there's fewer of us who can come in and really understand a holistic view of a business across different revenue functions. But one misconception is that I'm specifically expert in partnerships or sales. I'm an expert generalist.
There you go. There's a great book on that. Is it Generalist Beat Specialist, something like that? It's a
I
good
gotta
book.
check it out. How do you
Oh
know?
yeah, no, it's let me see, Generalist book. See, we even on colons, we'll pop open the Google. Uh, it's called Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World. It's a really good book. It's actually very famous also. It's not just like a I just came across it one day. Um, yeah, check that out.
We'll check it out.
All right. I know a little bit about where this next one's going, but funniest celebrity encounter. What a good one.
I have quite a few. I lived a life, but this one stood out immediately. I'm not sure why, because maybe I was preparing a new proposal last night. It was late at night, and and you're gonna ask this question, and the first thing that popped in my head is I was at a DMX concert. The rapper, right? He actually passed away, but he's a very wild man, and you just have to imagine this 50-some-year-old guy just completely in his character at the time when he's now needs to go and say hello to his VIP, like meet the fans. Instead of just taking the stairs from stage to get to us, he ends his concerts and started climbing on the speakers and whatever it was to our balcony. And he just jumps out and he's like, hello, in a very DMX voice. So
Oh my
that
God.
was one to remember.
He climbed up into the second story?
Yeah, it was like imagine like a semi-large nightclub, right? You have the
Yeah.
more, well, it was actually a really cool thing. It was again back then, even he
Yeah.
was still like in his ages, like and he
Oh, he's
performed.
epic, dude.
I
I loved him actually.
performed like
Yeah. Yeah.
nobody else's business. And yeah, as the night was coming down, you pay extra to be in a space to like meet and greet, whatever.
Yeah.
Just made the entrance of entrances. He's like, forget the stairs and whatever bodyguards. I'm just gonna climb to that thing and just
Natural entertainer, man. Sees the opportunity, takes it.
yeah, yeah.
All right, last one, then we're jumping into the good stuff. Most recent shoe purchase.
Nike Dunks. We actually, it's funny. You mentioned it, so I'm gonna show them off. Yeah, on brand.
Whoa, those are cool.
Yeah, on brand. Outbound funnel. The our firm. It's orange and greenish, but whenever I run our field events presentation, I'm speaking,
Yeah, those are
etc.
cool.
Yeah, I like to bring a little bit of orange splash to everything. So I saw it, I got them.
Well, that's the perfect next question, or sorry, segue rather, into our second segment, which is all about revenueism. It's all about the cold ones, right? Working with world-renowned revenue leaders, partner leaders, sales leaders, generalists to understand a little bit more about how you're seeing the world, what you're seeing in your neck of the woods. But for the second ice cream, you ready?
All right.
Drum roll, pop it open. I hope you have a spoon because I'm popping in my second one here.
All right.
And we got the reason why it's perfect segue because we got you the orange Reese's
Yeah.
Pieces swirl to match the outbound funnel orange, man.
I
When I
appreciate it.
saw that,
I
I knew that
appreciate
we
it.
had to get it for you.
I appreciated that.
Don't be shy. Dive into it.
All right.
I'm
Gonna take one.
all right. So
Cold. That's good.
real good. So in our last conversation, we were talking about partnerships. I'm very, very passionate about partnerships. Probably because medical device, which is where I started my career,
Hmm.
is a very partner heavy sector.
Hmm.
A lot of companies will specialize in research development and FDA clearances, stuff like that. And then once they get to commercialization, they either sell the company or they partner with a partner distributor to
Hmm.
sell the product. They do not there's I mean a lot. Even the big name folks like Medtronics and Ethicons and Johnson and Johnson's,
Yeah.
they'll
McKesson's.
oftentimes
Yeah.
yeah, they'll
Hmm.
have partnership strategies. So I really have seen the power of partnerships. I believe in them. I think in SaaS, it might either be a newer concept or one that just hasn't been adopted quite as much. But it's something that I think more folks need to learn about. So tell me, just in general, how you've seen companies effectively leverage sales channels, partnership channels to drive sales, drive revenue. And we'll just kick things off from there.
Yeah, no, and that's a really good example you just provided. So, in my point of view, the number one, partnerships are an amazing vehicle to get in front of the right people and get in the right hands faster. And when the value prop is put together with the right partner, is just an unbeatable force. And most importantly, in my book, it can really benefit the customer buying from this type of partner event than if they were to go out and buy it from individual vendor or on their own. But I do have a very distinct point of view on how partnerships work. And I just to simplify, I think there's really two lanes in partnerships. One is one actually just described, sort of channel sell through, where I would almost distinct that doesn't matter if it's medical devices, telecom, healthcare, any type of SaaS. When you're talking about specifically, especially channel sales, I do feel like it's more of a channel of distribution. Yes, you need to partner on messaging, materials, educate your extension of your sales team, but I think that's what it is, an extension of your sales team. It is somewhat of an opportunity for you to create something, and then it becomes a channel of distribution, just like Nike shoes. Well, nowadays you can go and buy them on your own, but
Mhm.
I wouldn't say that Nike and Nordstrom's have a partnership, even though I bought Nikes from Nordstrom.
Right.
It's just the channel of distribution. And so that could also be said for devices or technology, whether it's, $100 or $8 million.
Right.
So where I personally also kind of fell into it and started specializing is more in strategic alliances and partnerships, whether it's with services or integrations. I did spend most of my career in tech SaaS. So whenever I do speak about any of this ecosystem, it would be more around the software cloud technology industry. I believe that you have to have a different type of alignment with your partners when you're not looking at them as just a channel of distribution. And when you do find such partners, you are no longer just looking at them as your extension of the sales teams, but actually your evangelist, your customer success, as your time to value implementation resource, and most importantly, a type of relationship that allows customer to be more, much more connected with your product and be more confident
Yeah.
and trust you more in purchasing it.
So Alex, let me ask you this. Um, Partnerships, great. We all agree on that. How do I find them? How do I find them is question one.
Yeah.
And then question 1B is how do I convince them to be my partner?
So how do you find them? Number one, don't go out looking for them. Go to your internal team first. It doesn't matter if you have a company of 10 or company of, Fortune 500. Talk to your sales teams, talk to your front line, and understand what partners do they bring in to close the deals? What partners they see their customer already use as they go through the sales process. Number two, or post sales, right? Go to your post sale team,
Yeah.
customer success support,
Okay.
etc. Who comes up a lot? Then go to your customers, speak to your customers. By the way, that could be a whole other conversations because everybody says, "Oh, go to speak to your customers, find the truth." It's a tough task actually to get in front of your customers unless they have a problem with you.
Right,
So
right,
when you research, it will take a little time, but do that research because the customers will actually tell you who they use, who they integrate with, or who they cannot live without. And by the way, they might already be integrated with what you provide. And so
right,
you take those internal findings, but from your existing customers and frontline teams, and then you see the common denominator, right? Like you start seeing that there's certain niche agencies or large integrators are involved in most all of your deals. And I say start small. There's different ways to engage it, but I say start small, just with a handful of partners, meet them, understand your mutual customers, understand potential prospects, and also understand what are you trying to get out of the partnerships. Don't just jump in partnerships because the cool kids are talking about it.
yeah,
You have to have a goal in mind. Why do you even want a partner? Are you trying to raise more more leads to your sales teams, or are you trying to increase your customer satisfaction rate? Like you have to have very specific goals of why you want to get into this relationship. And once you do that and you concretely mutually agree on that with the handful of customer partners, I'm sorry, that's how you can actually start building out that process, proving the concept, and understanding that this is not a vendorship but actual partnership that you could grow, scale, and make the impact on the mutual goals that you set.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So now I feel really confident. I feel like I have a system in place. Go to my internal teams, go to my customers, figure out who are they using, who are the users using, and who they love, and then I've got a list. Now, how do I go convince them, right? What angles do I take? How do I go to them and say, "Hey, I'm a small startup, and I know you've probably not heard of me, but our customers, we've shared customers, and they love us, they love you. Let's talk." What kind of angle are you taking to convince them to not only take a call? I assume you could probably take a call, but get a partnership done. It takes legal, takes cost, takes
Yeah.
energy. I mean, it's not just like, okay, let's do partnership.
So there's there are books about that too. It can
Right.
go very deep. I'll try to make complex simple. And that is number one, again, the partners need to want to partner with you. And so and then again, you have to have a mutual understanding of why you want to partner. So I use a sort of my own acronym, a little formula called U.S.E.R. Unified Success to Expansion and Revenue.
Yeah.
Because every company wants to gain revenue. Every company knows that their customers are underutilizing whatever they sell and can be upsold. And they also know that their customers need help to be successful and not churn. And so coming back to the user model, U stands for unified objective. From top to bottom, you have to understand why you would want to partner together, and do you have actual resources to come through? Again, this is not sales. This is not transactional. Partnerships mean a prolonged type of engagement that, you're right, takes legal, takes objectives, takes nurturing. You have to be committed. If you don't have top to bottom executive alignment on it, forget about it. Any numbers that you can come up with is not going to work. And then you have to think about your customer success. will you actually be more successful in introducing these two partners together? Will they customer benefit from having both of you in this?
Yeah.
Right. So again, I am almost, if you notice, I'm eliminating the need for partners at first. I'm saying no to it at first. But if those two are the objectives, like make customer amazing, like let's have them make the most of our solutions together, and we together as companies are ready to put people, budget, effort, commitment against these objectives. Yes. How can we increase our customers' use of a platform, so expansion, and how can we win net new deals together? So if you are in the same pool, looking at exactly the same prospects, is it possible for you to work together to increase that share of voice through marketing? Is it possible for you to uh, delete unnecessary back and forth, proving that you're better than competitors when your partner can come in and on your behalf give a great reference?
Yeah.
All of that combined, you can start putting those KPIs together and realize that you can win deals faster. The customer sees time to value and uses the product in quicker time. And all it leads to better customer success and expansion and retention that honestly right now, a lot of companies put even more efforts towards than securing sometimes new logos, is that NRR versus NR.
Alex, what this reminds me, I like to use metaphors, and I oftentimes like to use metaphors about dating because I think they're relatable and people always laugh. So when you're out dating, you're not trying to sell people. Or if you're trying to meet your wife or your husband, you're not really trying to sell them to, but you're really trying to find like a good fit because you don't want buyer's remorse, right? I feel like that's more how a partnership is versus when you're selling, you're like trying to convince, like, hey, listen, champion, we can help you. We're really trying to convince you of that, right? We're really trying to drive. Let's get next steps. Let's get next steps. Let's put a pending event in place. Let's manage by the calendar. But in a partnership, it's not, you shouldn't, you want it to be mutually. You don't want to feel like you're having to push. You want them to be equally invested and equally bought in, and you're not selling them on it if you want to be successful. Is that a difference that makes a difference?
I'm actually, it's amazing. You said exactly how one of the reasons I actually went away from the sales to partnerships is because no matter if you run a transactional $100, $1 million transaction, it's still transactional. Sales is transactional. At the end
Yeah,
of the
it
day,
is. It is.
somebody signs and it's the and. Maybe there's a handoff, maybe there's something or other, but you are selling. Selling a one night stand again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Using
Yeah,
a
no,
dating
so, well,
analogy.
selling just a summer fling, right, is different than trying to find your partner for life. You're approaching it differently. You're like, hey, look, I got a cool beach house. Come hang out. Versus, hey, like, I actually want to get to know you. I want to make sure you like me too, because if I'm going to spend $5,000 on a ring and introduce you to my family, we want to be
Yes.
bought in on this. Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
Last
partnerships is
before
definitely a
we go.
commitment. It's literally the definition of commitment. And
Yeah, I like that.
yeah,
So last question before we roll. Let's say I'm a founder or a CRO at a startup or a smaller company. Actually, maybe not even small, but I don't have a partnership team. I don't have a channel team.
sure.
This is new to my organization. What's the first three things that I should be doing? Like, give me a little 3 to 5 step playbook that I can write this down when I listen to cold ones. I can start doing it next week.
Find friends who are in your industry, right? Whether they're companies or individuals who speak to the same people that you're selling to. You're likely speaking to the same people who have the same problems. I do believe that you will be better together, delivering a more cohesive reason why someone should invest and dedicate budget or resources to buy your solution, especially for small. You also want to understand why would a large company decide to entertain working with a smaller company, and that typically means give get. Partnerships supposed to sound like a win-win-win, right? Each partner wins and the customer wins. But if you ever read a book, um, uh, oh my God, I completely zeroing out. Chris Voss's Never Split a
Oh,
Difference.
never split the difference. Yeah. Hey, I
Yeah,
met him one time. He was not very kind, but that's another story for another day.
I
I
would
think he
love
was
to
hungover.
hear. Um, but in that book, actually, if you read it, you'll realize that the win-win looks very different from each point of view. So as a small company, if you come to a larger partner, if you can provide them an opportunity to close the gap in losing churn customers, or opportunity to introduce them to some of the clients that they just can't even get into, but you already have relationships and together you can bring a better opportunity, it will be a huge win for them. It may be even bigger win for you. So you have to understand the weights of the win-win, and how to make sure that um, in your especially larger partner uh, eyes, it doesn't have to be astronomical. Sometimes the win for a larger partner could be a 1% reduction of churn, which for them is huge.
Yeah,
And for you thought that you need to come in with double digits.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I like that. So I think that really what I'm hearing here, Alex, is talk to your customers, talk to your sales team, see who they recommend, right? And then you and I walked through a little bit of this. Idea sample, ideate the need, follow the user model, drive first partner engagements. Tell me a little bit about, I know what you user is unified success, expansion revenue. You shared that. I think that's brilliant. I flagged that. But what do you mean by tracking success? Is that where you define objectives and then you're kind of revisiting? Like, what does that look like?
That's right. That's right. Because your original, and this is what you have before you scale, because there are definitely programs, and I've been part of it as well, where you just want to be friends with everybody.
Yeah,
But then you go from what I see being partnership to vendorship. We just know each other. We're not actually working together. We're not as tight. We're not driving deals together. We're not communicating. Our teams don't even know each other. And sometimes it's okay. It could be made that way, but yes, it requires nurturing. Um,
yeah,
just like relationships, right?
yeah, yeah,
You have to continue to date, understand what you like, what you don't like, where you are more powerful together, in what situations, and what you are okay with and what you're not okay with. And that takes time. And I believe that again, partnerships is not a new concept, but because it is a concept that is not it doesn't have as many controllable milestones, like as if you say in the sales process or an internal any type of internal processes that the companies may have. Partnerships is a little bit more fluid. You have to build it from perspective that you have to work with external uncontrollable factors, whether it's people or companies or technologies. You have to stay on and you have to nurture it, and you have to have dedicated people to do so. You cannot just say I want to do partnerships and start seeing revenue rolling in the first year.
yeah. Yeah, you said nurture. All right. This was awesome. Success is a team sport. You've had a brilliant career across many different organizations, and now most recently, of course, at Outbound Funnel. When you think of folks who have had an outsized impact on your success, who have helped you win, whether it be deals, whether it be a life, whatever it may be,
Mm.
who are a few folks that come to mind that you want to give a shout out to and make sure they hear your appreciation?
um, uh, actually, you got me stumped there for a second, because I have to agree that I don't believe any one of my positions in the past uh, I would have been able to do without somebody taking a risk on me and
Yeah,
for me proving them right. Uh, and then obviously the next and the next, and as well as just learning from folks a lot. Um, you know what? I'm actually I always sometimes come back to the same folks who gave me the opportunity to
yeah,
get into sales, to get into partnerships, to really trusted me to take ownership and level up. I actually want to bring up a name that I haven't um, brought up in a while, but Sanjay Delakia. He was CEO of Crowd Factory, became CMO of Marketo when Marketo went public,
yeah,
and there's definitely I work with Sanjay a bit, not that close in either organizations, because at that time let's put it this way, I was just an SDR trying to become a commercial AE to get my
yeah,
get my tech bag.
yeah,
um but sometimes people have an impact on you even without necessarily having to work with you as much. And one thing that was just contagious was his passion for those big wins, but also passion for little wins. And also just reiterating how proud he was of being part of the team, of being part of this movement, whether we're going down or whether we're going up, just
Yeah.
being able to level everybody up around him. I absolutely always try to embrace that and do my best, continue to sort of project as I stood into my own leadership roles, because that is what's necessary to make sure that everybody gets that contagious and that, yes, let's celebrate the wins. And when it's tough, we'll get through it. It's a phase. Let's go to the next one. So big shout out to the man who has an enormous amount of energy and a lot of genius power
Right.
of driving
Good.
companies and people.
Well, Alex, you made it through. Congratulations. No brain freezes.
No, I don't.
To get into that ice cream though, you didn't eat nearly enough.
I'm
You
just talking, man.
having fun,
Too
man. You
much.
lived to tell the tale. And it was a pleasure speaking with you. It's a pleasure seeing you again. I'm glad that we've become friends at this point. Can you tell our audience what's going on in your neck of the woods, Alex? What can we expect from you in the next upcoming year?
Um, I mean, we're heads down, growing outbound funnel. Actually, in the time being that we've talked, we've hired 3 more people, consultants working on our HubSpot pillar, and brilliant client delivery success managers. It's a very different journey that we're on, or at least I am on. I've been in SaaS all my life. I building a service agency company. Our founder, Curtis Ropp, I'm grateful for him to bring me on board and helping him to scale to the next phase. So yeah, I'm really excited about new partners that we are about to announce too. So it's going to be a very exciting second half for us here.
Well, congratulations, man. I look forward to seeing those updates, and we'll talk soon. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Cheers.